Very good afternoon and welcome to Election Brief. We're live on DSTV channel 421, Go TV channel 125, across all our social media platforms and around the world on myjoyonline.com. Election Headquarters is brought to you by Petrosol, your clean fuel in full quantity, and the Chartered Institute of Management Accountants, the American Institute of Certified Public Accountants, together as the Association of International Certified Professional Accountants, and also by Chopbox Technologies, a convenience service, and Youth Bridge Foundation, bridging the gap for positive youth development. My name is Faustina Safo. Do stay for details. Thanks for choosing us for your home of independent, fearless, and credible journalism. We start with the Institute for Democratic Governance because they are urging the Electoral Commission to publish the results of all polling stations before declaring the final results of the upcoming 2024 presidential and parliamentary elections. Ghana's presidential polls have had a history of electoral petitions at the Supreme Court based on allegations of faulty processes at the polling stations. The Electoral Commission has also faced criticism for declaring the 2020 election results twice due to tallying anomalies. However, to forestall such occurrences, which is appearing to be a problem and a threat to the country's democracy, IDEC says all polling station results must be published at the EC's website. Dr. Kwesi Jonah is a senior research fellow at the Institute for Democratic Governance.
You have promised to publish polling station by polling station results before the expiry of the 21-day limit for filing petitions. But before is not a time. If I have only 21 days and you publish these results 2 days before the expiry, it will be very difficult for me as a party or a candidate to put together my petition. So it is very necessary for the EC to make sure that even though they promise to publish it before the expiry of the 21-day limit, they publish it early enough so that those who want to go to court to challenge will have the data to go by. That's the first point. The second point I want to make has to do with the concessionary payment of deposits by candidates. You do that to encourage women and people with disability, as many of them as possible, to contest the election. Unfortunately, your efforts are cancelled out by the very high fees charged by the parties at the primaries level. The primaries come 1 year, 2 years before your election. And at that level, they are charging such high fees that even if they give 50% concession, the amount of money women and people with disabilities still have to cough before they can become candidates. And it is at that level where the number of women, the number of PWDs can be determined. So maybe you should coordinate with the political parties so that the two of you will know how to reduce the thing to the... If we are given 25% concession, maybe the party should give 75%.
Meanwhile, the Electoral Commission says it is initiating a number of reforms to address these concerns. Director for Training at the Commission, Dr. Sribo Kweku, says political parties must also be willing to accept the outcome of the results.
For me, and the little experience that I have, if you get the constituency results, regional results, and the national results, it should give you almost every information that you need. Because the polling station results that are collated together. So if you have the constituency results, the regional results, and the national results, I think you have enough information. So by the time you will get the polling station, you will have known where the issues are. Because we shouldn't rush also to publish something that at the end of the day we say that you have to put them down. So, and I've told you that because the polling station results are not in soft copy, they are hard copy that are going to be scanned. And we're talking of 41,000 plus. We should hasten slowly. But I believe that because the constituency results are just 276, it can easily be scanned and put there. The regional 116, it can easily be done, and the national is just one. So that one, let's start with that. For us, we are working on because at the polling station results, I believe the political parties can also have it. But for us to put them there, we should be sure that the figures are done, the scanning is well done, so that we don't do it and later we say that we made a mistake, let's put them down. So let's start with the fact that on the day that we are going to declare the results, the collateral results at all the levels should be ready. Then we can take our time.
The NDC flag bearer John Dramani Mahama has vowed to ensure Ghana remains peaceful throughout the December elections and beyond. Addressing the 31st Biennial General Council meeting of the Assemblies of God Church in the Upper East region, he said no political ambition justifies the shedding of even a single drop of blood.
And so as we go into another election, often there's a general sense of apprehension that something will go wrong. As a member of your church, I can assure you and pledge that I'm a person of peace, and if there's any violence, it won't come from me. I'll do everything to ensure that Ghana remains peaceful, because if you resort to violence, it is the same people you are coming to govern over. And so I don't think that even a single drop of any Ghanaian's blood is worth political power or coming into office. And so I give you that assurance. We've seen an increase in multidimensional poverty from the Ghana Statistical Services recent statistics that they've put out. It means that more of our people are becoming poorer. It says that 8 million of our people in 2023 went one day without food because they couldn't afford it. And so it means that people are hungrier, the hardship is real. And this is the time for us to show compassion to each other, because in times of poverty, we must be our fellow's keeper and share the little that we have.
Maxwell Agbawa joins us with details of what the NDC flag bearer will be doing today. Maxwell, where are you right now and what can you report?
The NDC flag bearer has ended his tour of the Upper East region, and we're currently back here in the Greater Accra region. But he will be traveling to the Ashanti region today, where he's expected to deliver a lecture at the P.V. Obeng Memorial Lectures. P.V. Obeng was one of the party top officers, top officials. He once served as chairman of the National Development Planning Commission, and also served under John Mahama's administration as a senior presidential advisor. He passed on in 2010, and he passed on in 2014, and it's the 10th year anniversary. So as part of the 10th year anniversary, to commemorate his passing, John Mahama is expected to deliver a lecture in the Ashanti region today to commemorate his death. Other top party officers are also expected on the KNUST campus, where he's expected to deliver that lecture. But on Monday, he's also expected to be at the University of Professional Studies, Accra, where the NDC, the youth wing of the NDC, will be launching the party's youth manifesto. That youth manifesto, we're told, will focus on unemployment, access to quality education. It will also focus on fostering entrepreneurship, for young people. So that'll be at 10 o'clock a.m. at the UPSA, the launch of the NDC Youth Manifesto to commemorate International Youth Day on Monday. Later in the evening at Bukom, at 6 p.m., the NDC flag bearer is also expected to be there to have a town hall meeting with the young people of Bukom. There, he will be asked questions by the young people, and he will be expected to give answers to some of the questions that will come up.
We've
so
heard him speak about the...
on Monday.
Well, make your point.
Yeah, so it's going to be a busy day for the NDC flag bearer on Monday. So today, he's going to be at the KNUST campus for that memorial lecture, and then on Monday, 2 events to commemorate International Youth Day.
Okay, we've heard him speak about the 24-hour economy. What are some of the key promises that will feature in his manifesto launch?
Well, we are told some of the key things that would feature at the two youth event would be one, unemployment, and then two, also the issue about quality access to quality education would also come up strongly. We are also told that he would also focus his message on the establishment of a youth development ministry because young people constitute about 38% of Ghana's population. And so in the statement released by the National Youth Organizer of the NDC, George Opariado, he stated that part of the discussions will also focus on the establishment of a youth development ministry that will solely focus on the development of the young people of Ghana. So one, entrepreneurship. Secondly, also employment will come up strongly, quality education, healthcare, and an establishment of a youth development ministry. All of these are expected to come up on Monday during these two youth-focused meetings.
Thank you, Maxwell Agba. While you're watching Election Brief, we'll be back with our Breaking Duopoly series. Just stay tuned in. Thanks for staying with us. Now, Hassan Ayariga, founder and flag bearer of the All People's Congress, is our guest today on the Smaller Parties Political Series. Now, this well-known political figure has been on the ballot a number of times, but has not been able to win the presidential seat. We will be asking him if indeed he is willing and able to break the duopoly coming December 7th. Mr. Ayariga, thank you for your time here on Election Brief. Now, you have been in the race for decades. How confident are you that indeed this time Ghanaians will give you the nod to be our president coming December 7th?
I think if I want to go by your assessment of that I've been in the race for some time, then definitely over the years, we've seen that the two parties have not performed very well for us to say that we don't need a third force. Ghanaians are crying for a third force. Ghanaians are crying for a new leader that would take our country to a different direction and transform our country. Of course, I've contested with Professor Mills of late memory, who then transferred his vote, who then took over from, John Mahama then took over from him. I've gone with President Akufo-Addo. He's won, Mahama's won. Today, in 2024, President Mahama wants to come back. And his contender, President Akufo-Addo's vice president, now wants to take over from him. Now the question is very simple. Why do I want to come back? Why am I contesting? Why do I think that I can break the duopoly? Look at the situation in our country. Let's take it one by one, a sector by sector.
Okay.
And you will see
Let's start with education.
Let's look at education.
CTAG is on strike. They've been on strike for weeks now. They're trying to negotiate with government to fulfill their part of the bargain. They have concerns about poor conditions of service. A number of allowances hasn't been paid. How do you plan to deal with the issues arising in the educational sector? You've already said previously that a review of the free SHS policy is a welcome idea, but what's your strategic plan?
Strategic plan is making sure that we change the curriculum of education. Because currently the kind of educational curriculum we have is just to train our students to become graduate without being focused on what they should be doing after training. In my last debate, I said that we're producing avoidable graduates instead of absorbable graduates. I still stand by that. What kind of curriculum are we using? Is it the Nkrumah style of training our students to write English, pass their exams and they cannot be productive to the society, they become a burden to society, they go around looking for jobs instead of creating jobs? The kind of curriculum of education makes our students become a burden. The graduates become burdened on us after education because we don't plan. We don't have a natural data system. We don't have a natural development plan where we say that the planning that we are doing, we're going to inculcate that into the educational sector so that we say, okay, every year we want to have 1,000 nurses, 1,000 doctors, 1,000 engineers on this platform, and we need to have accountants, lawyers, and all that. So our students are trained based on our needs and our wants for the future. Not just because they have qualified to become students, so they go to school, write exams and pass and come out, and they don't fit into the society. They are becoming a burden. So the APC will change the curriculum of education, design a national development plan where students coming from school, universities, will be coming out of purpose. Not just because they are going to pass exams, no. Not just because they've qualified to be graduates, no. Or not just they've qualified to go into the tertiary institution. They will be given a serious assessment and a placement order where they will be after education. Okay? So that we don't have these kalabule ways of unemployed graduates all over the system running around looking for jobs they have not been trained for.
Brings me to my next
when you want to hire somebody in this office, you're not just going to hire a graduate because he's a graduate. You're going to hire him because he fits into the society, the system that you are going to do here. You need a cameraman. He's a graduate. Fine. You need a producer. You don't need just anybody who's a graduate. That's not what we're looking for.
So your system will fix this.
Our system will fix that.
About unemployment, you made mention of the Unemployment Graduates Association. These are people who have been through the system. They have their certification, yet they have no jobs. How does the APC plan to provide jobs for the young teeming Ghanaians who are jobless? Good.
We are designing in our first manifesto, the first policy is a national data system, which goes with what I always say about mindset. We have a very bad mindset as Ghanaians. And until we change the mindset of the Ghanaian people and our society, we'll continue to have a set of people who are unemployed. So the APC is going to design a national data system. The national data system will prioritize whatever, we will have the data system of every Ghanaian. We have the society, the businessmen, the companies, every information we need. Now, each company that is looking for a job, you don't have to go scouting for a job anymore, because we're going to build job centers nationwide. Okay. So there will be job centers nationwide where you go there, put in your application for job, or even put in your application to look to get somebody to work for you. All right, so companies do not have to now scout for jobs all over. Students do not have to go around looking for jobs anyhow. Now there'll be a national job center nation everywhere. You just go into the job center, you put in your application, the kind of job you're looking for is there. Companies too will now go in there also and put in their slot.
Including private companies?
Including private companies. It's a system design. The national data system is going to give us all this information. So the job centers now, we're not going to be training people anyhow. The job centers will be there available in all regions and all districts. So you're looking for a job as a company, Joy FM wants to put out application to look for people to come and work for them. Joy FM will not put it in the newspapers anymore or put it outside there saying they're looking for. You just go to the job centers and you put in your application there. Anybody looking for a job that can fit into the requirement of Joy News job requirement will just put his name and the application comes to you.
How will Ghana's tax regime look like under Ayariga's government?
Tax is an important component in the development of every nation. What we need to do is to make sure that every company, every institution in this country pays tax. It doesn't matter whether you're a new company or you're an old company, because over the years, people evade taxes based on the fact that they are opening new businesses. You know, our law says that when you have 6 months, 1 year, you get tax holidays. So there are many companies that are in this system, they'll operate for 1 year, 2 years, and they'll change the name of their company in order to evade tax. So our system is that if you evade tax, you go to jail. If you evade tax, your company will be closed down. If you evade tax, you will not get any opportunity in this country. So we're going to design a special tax system. You see, our national data system gives us the information of everybody. So when you are not even paying taxes, we see it on the records. When your company is not paying taxes the way they are supposed to pay taxes, it reflects in the system. So you can evade tax. And tax is going to be used to build our roads, our schools, our hospitals, and the development that you require as a nation. And most importantly, our resources will not go to corruption and wastage and mismanagement.
How would corruption be fought under Ayariga's government? Because that's now an issue of contention. The OSP has just released a report declaring that indeed John Dramani Mahama has been exonerated from the Airbus scandal, which raised concerns about his credibility during his campaign way back. How do you propose that would deal with corruption under Ayariga's government?
I keep referring you to one thing, but you will not understand the reason why I'm referring you to that all the time. When we have this national data system, it reduces corruption to zero.
How?
Good. For instance, you here, we will have details of your salary, your bank accounts, where you work, the number of cars you have, your properties, your assets, your husband, your children, your businesses. Everything is captured in.
So every Ghanaian would have to declare their assets
Every
under
Ghanaian will have to be captured with every information about you under Hassan Ayariga's leadership. So that when your salary is 100,000 Ghana cedis, there is no way, okay, you can have a house that is 1 million Ghana cedis. Because your salary cannot afford you $1 million house or 1 million Ghana cedis house. So we are monitoring every aspect of your life, including your bank accounts, it's being monitored. So you can't evade tax, you can't be corrupt, you can't take anything that doesn't, I mean, we have every information about you. Even your house number, we have it. Including your blood sample is captured. Because when there's forensic what do you call it, analysis, and there's a crime somewhere, and the police come there and they take blood sample and put it in the system, it will show you. So it's a unique kind of governance that is going to police our people. It's a policing economy where nobody can be corrupt. You can't be corrupt because where you're getting the money from, the system will show. If you're taking the money from your salary, which goes into your accounts, and you want to take it from your salary, you cannot have $100,000 to buy a house. Your salary cannot fetch you that. So where's the money going to come from? Because wherever the money is come from, we're going to trace the money. The system will trace the money.
Including your officials. So let's
including
talk about
everybody, including me as president.
Let's talk about illegal mining and what's Hassan Ayariga's plan to deal with illegal mining that has become a bane to our society.
Illegal mining has always been a problem for all nations, including Ghana, and it's called illegal. And once it's illegal, that means we are not allowed to do it. So what we do is that I, as government, will not give concession to foreign companies. Under Hassan Ayariga, there's no foreign company will have concession anymore. But that is our resources, that is our wealth, that is our natural and mineral resources. It has to go to the Ghanaian society, Ghanaian companies. And then we train them, all companies that want to engage in illegal, in mining will be given special concession. And government will take huge chunk of the concession. Because this is supposed to be government's resources, not resources for individuals to be mining. Money is not meant for people. Money is meant for the government and the state. Those days, when my father was an MP, Limam's time, Nkrumah's time, we had huge resources in forms of what? Gold bars. That is why Ghana was called the Gold Coast, because we had bars. Ghana government has enough resources. Today, you go to our coffers and there's nothing, because every mining sector is being taken over by Galamsey and the politicians themselves who have now become miners. All right? Most of the mining concessions you see are owned by politicians. Under my government, nobody will own a mining concession. Government will own mining concessions.
How do you intend to fund some of these ambitious goals you have?
If we cut down on corruption, we have so much money to fund this. If we cut up on mismanagement of our resources, we will have so much money to fund all these things. If we cut down on wastage of our resources, we will have so much money to fund this. If everybody pays tax, we will have so much money to fund this. If everybody has a job and is doing well, this country will be better off.
Now, I'm quite interested in the Commander Sugar Factory. Government after government after government has failed to successfully revamp the Commander Sugar Factory. And that's an issue of concern to a lot of people. The NDC government sank in some $30+ million into the system. The NPP tried sinking some $52 million into the system. Tell me, how do you plan to fix it?
And what happened? That's a level of corruption and mismanagement of our resources. Lack of planning, because they haven't planned properly in order to run the Commander Sugar Factory. We import over $700 million of sugar every year. Yet we have a factory, one or two, lying down without raw materials. So in order to fund that, we need to farm and produce sugar cane, the raw materials to feed the industry. So it brings me back to my number 6 policy of an economic lockdown, where I said, when I become president, I'm going to lock down this economy for 1 year. We are going to begin to produce what we consume and consume what we produce. Within that 1 year, we have to change our consumption pattern to begin to eat what we produce. We have to change the consumption pattern of eating our Ghanaian food. That's the fufu, the plantain, the cassava, and everything, and stop the huge importation of things that are not necessary, so that we begin to grow what we need, including raw materials to feed the Commander Sugar Factory and other factories. We've been talking about factories and factories and factories, one district, one factory, but what do we produce? We cannot even produce rice. We can produce oil. Meanwhile, we have all the necessary produce to be able to produce oil. Coconut, we can use it for oil. Shea butter, we can use it for oil. Granite, we can use it for oil. Soya bean, we can use the palm oil. Yet we import over $700 million of oil every year.
So 1 year of lockdown under Ayariga's government.
1 year of...
How is the search for a running mate coming?
Oh, we have a running mate.
You have one?
Yeah, you should be asking, when are we going to outdoor our running mate?
Oh, so please tell me, when will you do
soon,
that?
Soon, before the end of the month, we'll be outdoing the running mate.
What name has come up?
Oh, the names are there. I mean, if I tell you the name, then there's no need to outdoor the running mate.
Oh, but then at least you have to.
It's going to be you.
How soon will you outdoor?
Oh, very soon, very soon.
Do you have a timeline?
Soon. Oh yeah, like I said, end of the month.
We have less than 4 months to the election, so we wanted specific.
No, we have less than a month to file, and all serious political parties by this time should have their presidential candidates and their running mate, because we'll be filing from the 7th of September. The APC will be the first party to file.
Okay.
Yes, so by then you should have your running mate and your presidential candidate ready and your nomination form. We have almost finished filling our nomination form.
As we wrap up, unfortunately, what gives you the confidence that Ayariga is the man for the next president in Ghana?
Because we've given the NDC and the MPPs so much in terms of the span of leadership to transform Ghana. We have seen NDC John Mahama over the years. We have seen Baumia over the years. Now it is Hassan Ayariga.
And we'll be looking forward to that.
Yes.
Well, that's how we wrap up the conversation here on Election Brief. For more news, please log on to my online. My name is Faustina Savo. Have a pleasant day as you enjoy the rest of our programs.